Now that they had tracks to follow, James kept his head checking for any movement of the deer. With the forest getting darker as time passed, spotting the deer would be slightly harder. They also needed to keep an eye out for monsters. Celine did a great job at following the prints in the ground left behind by the animal. There are several more that I'm seeing now. I think the first one had been part of a herd, Celine said while keeping her eyes focused on the trail. That's good to know, Maya said in a cheerful voice, likely imagining the amount of food that they could get for the night. Laughing lightly, Mim said, even if there are more than we anticipated, we can only hunt so many. We don't have the room to carry a whole deer's worth of meat, so we'll only be hunting enough to feed the group for the night, he said to Maya, bursting her bubble. Sighing at Mim's words, Maya nodded. James looked away to not let Maya see him grinning at her reaction. Hold up, Celine urgently hissed, clearly not wanting to be heard. Hearing the tone of her voice, James immediately stopped, his feet skidding on the ground due to the momentum of his running and halting so quickly. He looked at Celine in confusion. Mim and Maya also had a baffled look, not understanding why Celine had them stop so suddenly. There's something up ahead, Celine pointed. James looked at where Celine was indicating, not seeing anything, but then he started to hear something that he wasn't familiar with. There was a sound of crunching, but not from people stepping on leaves or dead fallen branches on the forest floor. He tried to match the sound in his mind, failing to recognize what his ears were hearing. Bones, Mim quietly said. Furrowing his brow, James thought, bones? Why would there be the sound of bones? But the moment the thought was created, he put together what was happening. What would be eating the deers? Maya asked Mim and Celine, realizing what Mim meant but still not sure of the missing parts in her mind. There are monsters ahead of us. They're the ones eating the deer, James said to Maya. His eyes flickered to Mim, who looked at him and nodded in confirmation. Maya's eyes slightly widened before she clenched her teeth, realizing the position they were now in. What do you think? Want to check out how many there are? I can sense at least a couple, which we would be able to easily handle. Celine turned her head towards Mim. Mim was quiet for a second before answering. The problem is that we don't know if there are more waiting for their turn. There may be some kind of hierarchy that they follow when it comes to a kill, Mim said, clearly trying to make a decision. Since those things are eating our dinner, I say that we put monster meat on the table, James suggested. It was a fact that they needed to eat due to how much their bodies were working during their time in the forest, which meant not just calories, but also energy that needed to be replenished. Though they had backup food in the form of rations, it wasn't a good idea to start going through them on the first day. Monsters have more energy contained inside their bodies, so this could be better for us. Both Maya and you have long-range weapons, and Celine and I will be able to get in close, James said to Mim, wanting to try and fight the monsters. Even if they didn't know the number of monsters, James felt confident that they could take them on. Celine sensed only a few of them, not like the numbers he had to face not too long ago. James looked at Maya to see what she thought. I think James is right. If there are only a few of them, then it's likely that we can take them on, Maya said in support of James's words. She looked at him with a smile.